This is what great managers don't do. So you're a new manager. That's absolutely fantastic. Are you wondering what to do to become an awesome leader yourself? Well, it's as much about what you shouldn't do as what you should do. And I'm going to show you 10 things that you'll never see great managers doing. Being a manager is a really hard job. And being a great manager takes a skill set so complex it's likely to make your head spin as a new boss. Luckily, I'm here to help you make that jump to being a super effective people manager that develops people as well as getting results for yourself, your team, and your organisation. You'll see loads of videos on the type of things that you need to do to become a good people manager. And while they're certainly valid and great advice, you'll also need to be aware of the many trip hazards that exist for managers, and certainly for people newly promoted into a leadership role. Falling foul of these gotchas can really make or break your career as a leader. Basically, you'll never see a great leader doing these things. So avoid them if you absolutely can. Bring the attitude. You know those people that you work with that have just got, well, just the attitude? Well, maybe it's a sense of self-importance, or they're just so negative about everything. Or it could be a whole load of other things. Either way, they suck the mood right out of the room as soon as they walk in. This can be the way someone speaks, someone acts, or even the non-verbal traits that a boss displays. The team is always looking and observing, and the tone that a manager sets is a vital aspect to every working day. Great people managers know that the mood that they set every day directly impacts their team in terms of their productivity, their comfort, mental health, and the general overall enjoyment of that day. If the boss is in a bad mood, everybody else suffers. This is especially true for those team members of a more introverted nature or more junior people, or sometimes from some cultures that maybe lack confidence. Many people can be deeply impacted and affected by the tone that their colleagues set, and especially the vibe that their own leadership brings to their working day. Just like getting a flyer in a race, setting your team off on a positive and confident start for each and every day is absolutely vital. And great managers will behave like a launch pad for their teams to go on and achieve that day. What great managers won't do is create a tense, negative, stressful vibe that's dominated by their own attitudes and frustrations. So as a new manager, make sure you are fully aware of the importance of maintaining a positive attitude and bring that to the table every single day. Remind people that they're the boss. Okay, they may well be the boss, but leaders are absolutely nothing without their teams. They're the ones who produce the end product that gets the results. As the manager, you are completely dependent on the performance of your team on a day-to-day basis. I've heard, "Don't you know who's in charge around here?" way too many times, and it's always been from bosses that I don't respect, never from bosses that I do respect, and it's always from the wrong type of characters, the characters you don't want to work for. It's your job to be the catalyst to allow the team to succeed. If you break down the barriers and coach and empower and support people, they're the ones doing the work, and as such, you need them more than they need you. So celebrate their achievements, put them front and center when they succeed, and if they mess up, well, it's you that needs to step in front of the bullets and take the hits. You'll find your team know you're in charge, and they'll be absolutely cool with it. So just get on with the vitally important role of looking after your team like they're your own family. Now, this part of the video is where I'm supposed to ask you to subscribe to the channel, apparently, according to all those YouTube experts. Well, you know what? I'm not going to. If you like the videos, I figure you'll subscribe. Simple as that, really. On to the next tip. Have favourites in the team. I'll actually caveat this one. It's more that great managers don't have obvious favourites in their teams. It's human nature to have favourite employees. But a great manager won't make that obvious. And critically, they won't let any personal opinion affect the way they treat that person in relation to the others in their teams. I'm sure you've seen it yourself in many of the roles that you've had. It seems like that one person gets all the great tasks and gets everything they need to be able to set up for success. And when they don't succeed, they don't seem to have to answer to the same level of scrutiny as others in the team. The playing field just doesn't seem fair. And conversely, there always seems to be somebody at the bottom of the food chain in the team. Somebody who gets all the junk jobs and never seems to have their successes celebrated. Somebody who looks like it's a struggle every day for. Well, that's favouritism at play. That person's boss is not self-aware enough to obfuscate their own personal preferences from the rest of the team, and so it becomes clear as crystal to everyone who the teacher's pet is. Great managers use their emotional intelligence skills, in particular their excellent self-awareness, to always be cognizant of how What's in their head is affecting their behaviours, and they'll correct it way before it ever becomes obvious to people. That's self-awareness at work. And before the next tip, check out the link below because we've got a really great ebook on new manager topics. We've got Skillshare courses and other courses, lots of stuff happening on the Productivity Edge channel. Check the link in the description. And if you want to discuss your own career challenges with me, then book a career clinic session and we can chat. Links down there. Be dominated by their calendars. As people progress in their careers, and especially into the arena of people management, they'll get lots of meetings, lots of calls, lots and lots of them. And before they know it, their entire calendar is full to the brim with calls and meetings and town halls and management updates and so much more. And this is where managers have to make a choice, because some of those calls need to be binned to free up time for other work. That is just a fact. And the bad manager makes the wrong call here. One of the first calls that the bad manager will cancel is the one-to-one update, the one-to-one meeting with members of their own teams. These regularly get cancelled by managers who aren't paying proper attention. And they should never be cancelled because they should take pride of place in everybody's calendar. These one-to-ones might be weekly or bi-weekly, but the one-to-one meeting is an absolutely critical aspect of being a people manager. It really is the super time in the week to get through to an employee and connect. These are the opportunities that great managers use to ensure their teams are working well, that the individuals are happy and motivated, and if not, then they double as coaching sessions that can help get people back on track. I've got more than one video on how you can make the absolute most of one-to-one meetings with your employees. See the link down there. In fact, I've got a selection of my own leadership and career courses available on several platforms like Skillshare. Just check the links in the description, you can take them for free. I'd really recommend starting with my New Manager Essentials course. It's free using the link in the description, and we cover everything you need to know to get off to a great start as a new manager, including the basics of leadership, defining your vision and culture, and the psychology of managing people. It's already helped a ton of people get off to a great start in their new management roles. So check it out. Gossip and spread rumours. The workplaces of today are complex, multi-layered environments with a myriad of interactions, personalities, relationships, and all sorts. And people won't always get on. In fact, there'll be a whole load of scandal, intrigue, and mystery, just like a Hollywood movie. And in times like that, it's so tempting to get involved in those water cooler conversations about people and projects and promotions. Conversations that can often end up in the sharing of opinions, and often negative opinions. People that spread rumours or express negativity about people, or work in general, often build reputations quickly. And it's not a positive reputation. It's amazing how quickly these things can spread. In fact, I once got an end-of-year feedback comment from somebody who criticised my negative attitude to work. And then I realised it was actually the only conversation I'd had with that person all year. But he'd based his whole opinion of me off that one 2-minute conversation. So never let your guard down and always maintain a level of consistency and positivity. Great managers never get involved in the he said, she said rumour mongering that you see in the corporate workplace. Of course, they won't be adverse to playing political games occasionally, but you won't find them slagging somebody off to their colleagues or to their team in public. So as a new manager, always be aware your reputation is what can make you or break you. And one lapse in concentration can be enough to solidify that opinion in someone's mind. So use your self-awareness skills to avoid being drawn into these situations when they occur. Tell their teams to keep work and home separate. Work is work, home is home. Well, I've heard that a few times. Well, in today's workplace, and especially in the COVID work from home era, this couldn't be further from the truth. That might have been true in the working in the factories of generations ago, clocking in and clocking out. But the truth of today is that many people are utterly absorbed and deeply committed to their careers and to making a difference to their teams and companies. You'll find that bad days will affect them at home. They'll make family sacrifices to get that deliverable over the line. They might even abort a family vacation to get you and the company out of a nasty problem. I've seen commitment like that before. Bad managers won't understand that. They'll expect their teams to switch from work mode into home mode and back again like turning off a light. And it just doesn't work like that. The bad leader doesn't realise that both work and home environments are utterly interconnected. So as a leader, it's vitally important that you try and establish a culture where your teams can have and enjoy a good work-life balance. And that means different things to different people. But it's your job to understand that both work and home life can continuously overlap and impact each other. Far from being separate, they are very much intertwined. Your team will regularly take their office problems home with them, and the more you can recognise and react to that, the better. Treat everyone the same. On the face of it, treating everyone the same doesn't sound like such a bad thing to do. In fact, you'll probably find that it's recommended in some manager textbooks or guides. But in today's workplace, this really isn't the best way to get the best out of people and teams. That one-size-fits-all attitude to people management died out a long time ago. Or at least it did with leaders that I know that know what they're doing. Understanding the nuances and individuality of teams is a vital aspect of people management, because everybody responds in different ways to different stimuli. People have vastly differing attitudes, different motivations, different capabilities, and that career coaching manager who can understand and react to the individuality of their people can really get the best out of the diversity that they have within their teams. Just like the coach of a sports team applies different motivating tactics to the different personalities in their teams, that's exactly how leaders get results. And if it sounds like a lot of work, well, it absolutely is. Maybe treating everybody the same is the easy way out, because treating everyone in a different way is not easy, but the rewards are off the scale. Great leaders treat their teams as the individuals they are in a collective group, and they provide personalised development and personalised support that directly fits the needs of the person. If you can do that, your teams will love you for it. Be complacent with hiring. This is really big. Hiring and onboarding new people is a critical process that often gets overlooked, or at least neglected. And managers treat hiring as just another admin task when it really couldn't be further from that. Bringing in new people to your team is one of the most critical skills to get right. And it's not just one skill, but it's a whole set of capabilities that spans company processes and procedures, external processes and vendors, psychology, nudging, all sorts of different skills. I'm not going to go into the whole thing here because there's so much to it, but I would recommend that you check out my Skillshare course, which is called How to Hire Great People. It's free in the link below. It's a whole deep dive into the end-to-end process for hiring top talent. It's a good hour and a half of advice based on my 20 years of hiring people. So make sure you become a hiring Jedi. It can make the difference between a great team and, well, a not so great team. Criticize for the sake of it. All managers have to offer their teams feedback. And some of that feedback will be in the form of criticism. And it might even be very direct criticism or hard to swallow for the employee. There's going to be tough messages. Well, you'll find that bad managers dish out criticism left, right and centre. And their critique won't be in the form of actionable feedback with examples and a path to self-improvement. It'll be more like, you've done a terrible job here, you have to do better. Simple as that. When formatted correctly, constructive and actionable feedback can be a superb development tool for managers and employees. But the key to the effectiveness is in the messaging. Bad managers tend to be lazy and they don't offer criticism with examples and an action path. That can be a lot of work to do that, so they'll happily leave it. They'll just have the initial dig at the employee, and then it's up to the employee to work out what the hell they've done wrong and how they can avoid doing the same again. It's not exactly inspirational or helpful. So as a new manager, make sure that you're not shy to offer critical feedback, but also ensure it's always with concrete examples, fairly applied, and part of a coaching conversation that can actually help the employee learn and improve. Neglect the money situation. Now this is an interesting one. Being a good manager and leader is, for the most part, about people. But there are also a lot of job-related considerations that absolutely need to be nailed. And one of the most important of those is that you'll always find great managers have a handle on the cash flow. How is the money flowing? Great managers always know the money situation of their people, their teams, their resources, their organisation, inside out. Where the money comes from, who pays for things, how much things cost, the deals, the discounts, the agreements with suppliers, everything. Because they know that their senior management are regularly going to hit them with no-notice questions about the numbers. Tell me the TCO, tell me the costs, tell me the discount we got last year. They can come out of the blue. So the good manager makes sure they have all that information ready to go at a moment's notice. So as a manager, you'll need to know those figures like the back of your hand. You can be called up at zero notice to explain how much your team costs the business, how much your software licenses are, what the salaries are, the discounts, the forecast for future years. That can happen anytime. As a rookie manager, I didn't even know those were things that existed. So as a new manager, make sure you spend time getting to know the financials in as much detail as you can. Because your own manager and senior leadership are looking for people that have got a solid grip on the control of the team budgets and the spend as well. Money is basically what makes the company able to function properly, so you've got to demonstrate your skills in that area. As you progress into the world of leadership as a new manager, you'll notice great leaders in your organisation all over the place, and you'll wonder what makes them so good. And as we've seen here, it's not just about what they do, but it's also the character traits that they work to avoid or suppress. And all this combines to make them super effective people managers and leaders that can advance the company mission and to the benefit of everybody involved. I've been a people manager for over 20 years. Check this video out for what I really wish I'd known before I made that jump. It might save you a lot of pain. Thanks for watching.